Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindu Center of Atlanta's weekly spiritual learning program. Today we are joined with Acharya Brahmadevji. Acharya will be focusing on today's sermon about the Vedic Hindu social construct today. Acharya Brahmadevji has an inclusive educational background in science, banking, management, and Darshanacharya Vedic philosophy, Darshan Yog Mahavidyalaya, Gujarat, and a diverse career in financial services, industry, and at Arya Sabha Mauritius. He has been a key resource person for Arya Sabha Mauritius on universal Vedic values, yoga and meditation, and on interfaith and intercultural dialogue at various national and international forums. The Mauritius Council of Religions, Arya Pratinidhi Sabha America, Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple, and Hindu Center of Atlanta Yoga and Meditation Center in coming. He is author of numerous insightful articles on Vedic philosophy and contemporary issues in English and French. Acharya.
Om. Namaste, everybody. Let's sit down straight, close the eyes gently. Bring our mind to focus. Deep inhale and exhale. And while exhaling, we are going to chant Om 3 times and 1 time Gayatri Mantra and start the session of today. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Join the palms together, rub them gently, cover the eyes and open the eyes below the palms, transferring the energy to the facial muscles. So namaste and welcome everybody. We're going to look at the Vedic social construct. And in that line, if we understand the basis of social construct, it's first and foremost requires the understanding that society is made of individuals. And given society is made of individuals, so the overarching principle is in the good social construct, we need the making of humankind, and the focus on the social construct comes or overarches on how good human beings are within the society. And the basis of reference of good social construct, starting with the individual. It starts with the individual at the early childhood stage. And if we look into the Vedic Hindu philosophy, it starts even before that with the Garbadhan Sanskaar or Putreshti Yaj, as we see in the Ramayana. And look at the difference of the impact of Putreshti Yaj in the Ramayana. The four brothers, Ram, Bharat, Lakshman, and Shatrughna, they work as a team for righteousness. On the other side, we have the 100 brothers of the Pandavas, all geared to just follow blindly Duryodhan, as we say, the herd mentality or the shepherding effect, in spite of Duryodhan being wrong. Nobody among 100 people stand for that. And in that case, if we go as per Manusmriti, and which is referred to in Satyar Prakash chapter 6 or in the Grihast Ashram Prakaranam of the Sanskar Vidhi by Maharshi Dayananda Saraswati, it says in such a society where there is a continuous attempt to suppress Dharma, to suppress truth, or to continue with unrighteousness. So we should consider there that everybody in that society is as good as lifeless or dead. So how do we care for that? It's by paying attention to children and caring for their education. And at the same time, when we are guiding our children, it's a question of being the role model. That is the best way of teaching children. In one of the previous sessions, we went into the details of what to teach children on the basis of the Vedarambha Sanskaar. We'll go a bit further deeper on when teaching children, what do we also learn? The Manusmriti says, Akamasya kriya kachid drishyate neha karhichit yadyadi kurute kinchit tat kamasya cheshtitam. मनुष्यों को निश्चय करना चाहिए कि निष्काम पुरुष में नेत्र का संकोच विकास का होना भी सर्वथा असंभव है। यदि यह सिद्ध होता है कि जो कुछ भी करता है वह चेष्टा कामना के बिना नहीं है। So whatever we do in life, there is always a thinking which has gone before that. And just like the blinking of the eye is normal, but opening the eyes great and to watch at or stare at something, this is with a purpose. And in the yoga philosophy, the eye is referred to as Akshipatra. The smallest of dust that enter the eye starts giving us irritation, and the eye starts, the tears starts coming out of the eye. So Akshipatra in the yoga philosophy says we should live our life on the basis of Dharma like the eye. The slightest deviation that we have in life should prompt us to gear back to Dharma. Because with the practice of yoga, which we've explained previously, when we start giving a pause between our thoughts and actions, we'll always review our strategies, even if that's for a fraction of a minute, say 15 seconds or 30 seconds. We have the time at least to review quickly whether that's good or bad and listen to our inner voice. So how do we go? It says, Achara paramo dharma shrutyukta smarta cha tasmadasmin sada yukto nityam syadatmavan dvija achara dvichute viprana veda phalamashnute acharena tu sanyukta संपूर्ण फला भाग भवेत. कहने, सुनने, सुनाने, पढ़ने, पढ़ाने का फल यही है कि जो वेद और वेदानुकूल स्मृतियों में प्रतिपादित धर्म का आचरण करता है, इसलिए धर्माचार से सदा युक्त रहते हैं. क्योंकि जो धर्माचरण से रहित है, वह वेद प्रतिपादित धर्मजन्य सुख रूप फल को प्राप्त नहीं हो सकता, और जो विद्या पर के धर्माचरण करता है, वही संपूर्ण सुख को प्राप्त होता है. So when we are talking, we are listening, and we get others to listen. We read and also get others to read about the Vedas, the scriptures, the inspiring books, including the Valmiki Ramayana and the Vyas Mahabharata. If we go on these lines, it's always inspiring us to gear into righteous thoughts, righteous words, and righteous actions. That's why the need for swadhyay in daily life. At least take, I would say, 10 minutes, read about a page at least. Even from the Vedas, if we know about that, because Vedas are available in Hindi and English also translation. We'll take the Upanishad, take the Ramayana, the Valmiki Ramayana, because this is the source. Take the Vyas Mahabharata. There are lots to learn there. It's always inspiring. And when we are inspired to always, by our constant touch with Dharma through reading, through listening, making others listen, read to others, that is always going to, as we say, make the imprint in our mind as just as we are saving a file in the computer. So it goes like that. And when we are inspired by these, we'll always gear into Dharma, righteous living. Because the next shlok from Manusmriti, I read two slokas. The first one was Achara Paramo Dharma, and the second one was Achara Divyuto Viprana Veda Phalamashnute. So those who don't get the practice of gearing into Dharma, the likelihood of deviation is higher. Because, as we say, practice makes perfect, and perfect practice makes perfect to the square. So the more we are connected to spirituality, the more we'll become good persons and good citizens for our society and for the country and for the whole world. Then it says, Yova manyate te mulo hetu shastrashaya dvija sa sadhu virhishkaryo nastiko ved nindaka. So what is there as the Vedas, and what are the ancillary texts written by the rishis, the Upanishads, the Darshan Shastras, Manusmriti, Chanakya Smriti, Valmiki Ramayana, because that is by Maharshi Valmiki, and Mahabharat by Vedvyas, because Vedvyas was also Rishi. It says Apta Purush, the Rishi, the Granthas of the Rishis. So if we delve into those, what is the result of that will always be there. And there's one strong word which comes here, which talks about Nastiko Ved Nindaka. One, those who don't follow the spiritual guidance, the inner voice, because the inner voice is the divine guidance. If you go one step ahead, for those who are learned, they tend to look at common righteous behavior in society and follow those. For those who go deeper into the knowledge, they'll try to access, as I said, the Itihas, which is Ramayana and Mahabharata, otherwise go to the Shastras, Smritis, Manusmriti, Chanakya Niti, the Upanishads, etc. Then otherwise go to the Vedas, and that's the path of growth. I'm taking it on the reverse of what it is said in Manusmriti, because I'm taking for the layman. The layman has to listen to his inner voice, his or her inner voice. Then as and when we grow, we start looking at common good behavior around us and just copy that. And when we start on the learning curve, formal learning curve, then we start accessing those allied texts by the rishis. And then when we go deeper and deeper into the knowledge, we go to the Vedas. The sutra, the shloka says, Veda smriti sadachara shvasya cha priyatmana etat chaturavidam praho sakshat dharmasya lakshanam. This was what I was saying. Veda smriti sadachara satyacharan shvasya cha priyatmana. The shlok gives it in the first Vedas, second the Smritis, third Satyacharan, righteous behavior around us, and fourth, listening to the inner voice which says, do unto others as I would like others to do unto me. And this is what everybody likes. They like people to behave rightly towards them, but then for that we have a duty that we also have to behave righteously towards them. So this is Shwasya cha Priyatmana. And this is a very good yardstick for the common people to know what is Dharma. If I'm doing otherwise, I'm doing the reverse of what I would like people to do towards me, that is adharma. And these are the basis of the foundations of the individual. Then the next shloka of Manusmriti says, Arthakamesha saktanam dharma jidyanam vidhiyate dharma jidyasa samananam pramanam paramam shruti. Arthakamesha saktanam. So whatever we may have in life, whether that's be tons of wealth, gold, etc., or it says come, a beautiful wife, a beautiful family, etc. But those who have dharma as the basis of life, that is the best as we say, the jewel in the crown. And why? To know Dharma in the Vedic Hindu philosophy. The root of Dharma is, it says, Pramanam Paramam Shruti. Dharma का निश्चय बिना वेद को ठीक ठीक बिना वेद को के ठीक ठीक नहीं होता है. So the basis of Dharma in Hinduism is the Vedas. Whatever we see in the Upanishads, in the Darshan Shastras, in the teachings of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, I'm talking of the Ramayana of Valmiki and Mahabharata of Maharishi Vedas, it's all grounded in the teachings of the Vedas. And this is why we call the Rishi Granthas are the Arsha Granthas. There's no contrary teachings in that. So that's the good yardstick. Then the other path of it. We had a query on the WhatsApp group of the Hindu Center of Atlanta about Varna Ashram Vyavastha, which went long, but I was busy with the Satyar Prakash conference. I didn't reply to that. Now I'll take the pains of writing how to explain that. It was attributed that Maharishi Dayanand was wrong in spelling out the Varna Ashram Vyavastha. Well, if we look at life basis, the Ashram Vyavastha is simply a division of the various stages of life. And the divisions of the various stages of life, first is the brahmacharya, the studentship. That is a period of the learning phase, whether it's be formal or informal learning at school and in the homes from the parents. Generally, in the modern context, it's more of the formal learning in schools, and about the living values, it depends more on the parents to guide the children. So if we blend the two, then we'll be able to produce or make the best of the personality of the children. After that comes married life, the grihastha ashram, which is also important there because Dharma, which has been taught in the childhood, in the learning phase, now it's time to implement that in terms of artha, righteous earnings, and calm, fulfillment of righteous desires. Because ultimately we are working for, as the shlok said, for happiness. And the Vedas, the Smritis, and even the guidance of elderly or learned people among us will tell us whatever happiness is there in this world is always transient. It's cycles of happiness, sorrows, sufferings, and pains. So the ultimate happiness or eternal bliss is within mukti, moksha. And if we look at that same context or concept, it's called salvation within other faith groups. That same word, mukti, moksha, is called as salvation. And understand heaven and hell are no other far-fetched places, but it's our own making. And we know in English, there is the common saying, we make the hell or the heaven by the way we live. We are the makers of our own destiny. So that's the emphasis on brahmacharya as the learning phase. Then grihastha at the time to when we are going to live to create our own family after marriage, then firmly grounded on dharma, We are going to live a righteous life. Our earnings would be on the righteous path. The fulfillment of our righteous desires will be from the righteous earnings. So we are growing on the path of Dharma. Then at retirement, when we are retired, this is the Vanprastha ashram. Now we no longer have forest where we can go and spend time in seclusion where we can, okay, we'll stay within our homes, but then since we have more and more time at our disposal, we go into the teachings, the spiritual teachings, and it's not deepening our religious roots, but deepening our spiritual roots. And when we deepen those roots, what we do, people around us, like children are growing, we have grandchildren around us, we can always take the time to teach them. And if we go into the Satyat Prakash, chapter 11, Unfolding the Truth, Maharishi then uses the same analogy, uses stories, anecdotes, allegories. And if you go into the Vyavahara Bhanu, which is the basis of teaching kids, it's always through stories. And the Hindu culture has no, as we say, dearth of it. It's full of it. It starts with Hitopdesh, Panchatantra, Akbar Birbal, and the likes, all inspiring. So if we make ourselves and we use our retirement to deepen our spiritual roots, as well as the family which is around us, we can inspire them to live spirituality as spiritual reality in daily life. Then comes sannyas. When we are prepared for renunciation, we move into sannyas, but sannyas is not a period of just idle sitting. The period of renunciation is when we are prepared on viveka vairagya. Vivek with true knowledge, we are aware that we are seeker of moksha, mukti, and we are striving through yoga philosophy to go to that. Then we take sannyas, vairagya, because we are totally detached now with the material setup. And to live our life, we go about preaching the spiritual values, the living values around us. So the sannyasi has a duty of one being a mumukshu, looking for mukti moksha, living a righteous life according to dharma, but he moves around in society, inspire others also to live dharma, artha, kama, ultimately motivate people on this path to mukti, moksha. Then there's also the concept of Varna Ashram Vyavastha, which is simply division of labor in modern economics. What has been wrongly attributed to our scriptures. Many people say the Vedas say about Varna Ashram, the Vyavastha, and they just shun it. But when they go to the modern universities and learn about division of labor, just accept it. There's no discrimination between the various Varnas. They are each complementary to each other, closely linked. Just as when I have a car, the wheels allow the car to run, but without the engine, the wheels can't move. And without the steering wheel, I can't get the proper direction. And without the lights, I can't signal to others whether I'm turning right or left. And without the headlights, I can't drive during the night. So it's a whole integrated setup of society. Unfortunately, when the foreigners came, they came with a concept of nobility by blood. And this is totally a concept which came to India from outside and distorted the social the good social construct based on the Vedic Hindu philosophy. That is really sad. And we just push the dirt on our own scriptures rather than deepening our knowledge into it. Just look at the four main categories in that. We know as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Shudra are the manual workers. And just imagine, without the manual workers, can the others survive? No, I'll take the example. If the manual workers don't work, say those people who are responsible for in the scavenging sector, if these people don't work, the beautiful houses and the beautiful environment that we are living, after 2 months, it will just stink and we won't be able to live there. If these people don't work, how do people in agriculture own business run their business? These are the same people who will support the people in law and order, the defense forces, the army, etc., to protect country and to maintain law and order. I'll take one simple example, the police stations. If we don't have a cleaner there, what will happen? After 1 week, nobody will be able to work there. And in the education sector where the teachers are as Brahmins there, if we don't have cleaners in the school, not cleaning the toilets, not cleaning the staff room, not cleaning the classrooms, what will happen? After 1 week, nobody, let alone the toilet, 2 days is more than enough. But there's other rooms or in the staff room, after 1 week, nobody will be able to sit there. Then take the other part of it, the Vaishya, the business community and the agricultural sector. If people don't run business, don't run agriculture, how will society survive? How do we go about economic growth? How do we bring about wealth? And there's one thing which is there. When we talk about economic growth is aprap ki prapti. Prapti ki suraksha karna, prapti की वृद्धि करना और उसको धार्मिक रूप से प्रयोग करना. So what is not yet earned, we have our targets, we have our noble objectives of what to achieve. We need to put up the efforts to realize that. And once we realize that, we have a duty to protect that. And after the duty to protect that, we have the duty to multiply it, to grow it, so that we can put it to effective use for the common good. And this is one part where the business community, the people involved in agriculture, have their contribution in the making of, as we say, economic growth. Then without the defense forces, the people responsible for maintaining law and order, the Kshatriya, where do we live? Then comes the Brahman, the educators. And Dharma is for each and every single category of them. We started talking about Dharma. And these phases of life, the division of labor is till we are active in our life, either as a worker, as a businessman, or as people working in the defense forces or an educator. So it's within the Grihastha ashram. Once we are retired, that division is just wiped out. And it's as good as what is there in economics. Division of labor, it applies till when? till we are in the active work life. It's the same theory. And I remember I think people start learning about division of labor in economics from grade 10, 9 and 10 onwards, when they start learning economics. And it's one of the bases of society in modern economics. And this is spelled out in the Vedas, synchronizing. It says the Brahmana is like the head in our body. The Kshatriya is equivalent to the arms of the body. The Vaishya is about the stomach, the digestive region, and the Shudra are the feet. So just try to dislocate each one of them. The person dies. And if we dislocate each and every of them, discriminating among them, society will become lifeless, society will die. So for the good social construct, the Varna Ashram Vyavastha is the ideal situation. Ashram, maintaining, when we are student, we focus on our student life and our learning. When we are married, we look after our married life about earning a decent living, as we say, art, and fulfilling our decent, righteous desires, kama. Then, retiring, vanprasth, we deepen our spiritual roots, and sannyas, when we've got vivek, vairagya, with a true knowledge that the ultimate goal is mukti, we are detached from the material life in the spirit of self, nishkam karma, with completely detached with the material world. Now we are working towards attaining mukti, moksha, but at the same time guiding others to be righteous and to move towards mukti, moksha. And there's no magic formula to that except dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Then the Varna Vyavasthas I explained in quite elaborate form how it operates, how these are integrated to each other. So next time when we get somebody who is arguing about Varna, pushing that the Hindu society is corrupted by putting the Varna Vyavastha, we should be clear to them that caste is not a word from the Hindu philosophy. The origin of the word caste is from Portuguese and Spanish. And remember, navigation in the world according to modern history. I'm not going to the period of the Ramayana Mahabharata, where people came at this crowning ceremony of Sri Ram and Yudhishthir from various corners of the world. I'm taking just modern navigation. It started with the Portuguese and the Spanish. And when these people touched the shores of India, then the word caste came into there. They saw the smooth operation of the Varna Vyavastha, but then they brought their own concept that was birth-based, whereas Varna is based on gun, karma, sabhav, our characteristics, our actions, and our nature. And this is what plays in work life. And that Varna lasts only during our work life. In Brahmacharya, there's no question of Varna because we are all students. So all are equal. After retirement, all are equal. Sannyas, all are equal. And even in married life, in work life, all are equal because we complement each other. We are not stand alone. And even as individuals within the household, within the family, we complement each other. And to understand it better, when I'm sitting down with a book and learning, or talking to others about spiritual matters, leading others to be righteous in life, I'm doing the work of Brahman. When I'm fitting an alarm system to my house, I'm doing the work of a Kshatriya. Whenever I move out of my house, I make sure that everything is safe. That is the work of the Kshatriya. And when I'm cooking my food, I'm looking for the groceries. I'm planting some flowers and some vegetables in my garden. That is the work of the Vaishya. And when I'm cleaning my house, I'm doing the work of a Shudra. So it comes within my life. And the Varna ashram takes the beauty of either taking it from the body, the head, the arms, the stomach, and the feet, or take it with the different roles that we have in our daily life. If we go in this line of explanations, nobody will be able to challenge the real beauty of the Vedic Hindu social construct. I try to give it in very simple format for people to understand. I just hope that provides insight. And if there are further queries to that, I'll be pleased to answer. You can just send me a message on Facebook Messenger on the Facebook page of Hindu Center of Atlanta, or write to us, Hindu Center of Atlanta @gmail.com. I'll be pleased to answer to the queries and bring the proofs from the Vedas, from the Manusmritis. I didn't want to go long on the proofs because that will take more time. We're already running after time. So thank you, everybody, and wish you all a nice week ahead. Namaste. Dhananjay for the closing, please.
Thank you, Acharya-ji, for your beautiful explanation about the Varna Vyavastha and starting from the different phases of life. We do all the kind of works related with the Varna Vyavastha. Just for a reminder for everyone, on Friday, every Friday 9 p.m., we have the program for the children and young youth, Sanatan Dharma Simplified. On Saturday, we have weekly satsang, 10:30 a.m. till noon, every Saturday morning, and Sunday for spiritual learning for the adults. Please do join us on those times. If you have some specific topics you want to listen, just send us the email or on the messenger, Facebook Messenger. We will arrange those topics to be understood for everybody. At last, thank you, Acharya-ji, and we will end with the Om Jap.
Sit down straight, deep inhale, and slow exhale while chanting Om. Namaste.